In central India lies a seemingly unassuming town known as Lonar, hiding many secrets and treasures to be explored in its surroundings. The list includes a serene looking hypervelocity impact crater lake, whose mysteries still continue to surprise researchers. Many ancient temples scattered around the region, although most of them in ruins, stand as silent witnesses to the cultural heritage and the surrounding forest that hosts some unique flora and fauna. Today we embark on a journey to this corner of India to witness firsthand the marvel of nature that Lonar Lake is, as well as to explore the cultural heritage of this region. A quaint and narrow country road leads to the township of Lonar in Buldhana district of the state of Maharashtra, which serves as a gateway for those wishing to explore Lonar Lake. The well-maintained road makes the drive a pleasant one. The vegetation bordering both sides of the road, seasonal flowers, small villages passing by, and cows crossing the road create the atmosphere of driving in the countryside. As we enter the main gate to begin the trek, the first main structure that comes into view is the Gomukh temple, which is situated on the rim of the crater. A fresh water stream flows non-stop throughout the year, the source of which is said to be the groundwater nearby. Researchers believe that the formation of the stream was the result of geological changes that happened after the massive meteorite collision. The stepwell was built here for people to take a dip in the holy water. However, no one is allowed into the pool in present times. In Indian culture, power of nature is considered sacred and divine. Places of worship are often constructed near such sites. You would get the first glimpse of the lake in the distance from this vantage point. The descent into the crater begins from here. The original blocks of stones, arranged in an interlocking system on the first stretch of the stairs, have survived the test of time. The further stretch is quite recent. The path is a bit steep. Climbing up may not be that easy. The sound of a waterfall along the path reminds you of being in nature. All this water supports the vegetation and eventually drains into the lake. As we cross a small bridge, the Kumareshwar temple comes into view. This region has been ruled by great Indian dynasties like the Chalukyas, Rashtrakutas and Yadavas, who have contributed to building temples in this region in different periods. Some of them date back more than 1,000 years. The Kumareshwar temple is estimated to have been built in the 9th century and is dedicated to Lord Shiva. There is a ritual hall supported by beautifully carved pillars. The inner worship hall is pitch dark except for a small lamp burning. This temple was also used for meditation purpose. There are visible indications of damage caused by the invaders. A freshwater stream flows opposite Kumareshwar temple. It is believed that Sita, wife of Lord Ram, had a bath here in ancient times during their exile period. From here, the trek continues on a mud path full with rocks and boulders. This is the entrance to the Lonar Wildlife Sanctuary, the smallest wildlife sanctuary in India.
And the peacock, right here is it.
As visitors enter, they would find the ruins of an observatory where a highly accomplished guru, who was a dedicated worshipper of Lord Shiva, taught astronomy. The circular roof was kept open in earlier times to study the skies. Fire rituals were also performed in this temple. There are beautiful carvings on the walls and pillars, and one can easily spend some time in quiet and peace here, listening to the sounds of birds. The forest begins to get dense from here, with a well-defined path winding through it. Despite low annual rainfall, the vegetation is thick, sustained by abundant groundwater in this area. The forest hosts a variety of flora, including perennial and semi-evergreen species. It is a place of peace and quiet, interrupted only by sounds of birds. Common animal sightings include monkeys and deers, reptiles, and a plethora of bird species. Leopards also call this forest home, although their sightings have been very rare. This is an interesting tree, home to moths, who have created large holes in its trunk. A small detour from the path leads to yet another temple in ruins called Ramgaya Temple. These temples were constructed using the rocks sourced from this very area. Here the guide demonstrated a few interesting experiments. The magnet sticks to the walls. Dust from the ground clings to a magnetic strip. The conventional compasses behave in erratic way in proximity to these unique rocks. This beautifully carved temple is dedicated to Lord Ram, the central character of the Indian epic Ramayana. Usually he is portrayed with his wife and brother, but in this temple his idol stands alone. The original statues have been destroyed by the invaders. There is a step well outside this temple, but it was dry. Now it was time to get the first glimpse of the lake from the ground level. It looked perfectly serene, contrary to its explosive origin. Thought to be 52,000 years old until recently, new researches indicate that the crater may have been formed 570,000 years ago, when a meteorite, estimated to be traveling at a staggering speed of 92,000 kilometers an hour, crashed into the earth at this very spot, which was a terrain of volcanic basalt rock. The impact created a crater approximately 1.8 kilometers in diameter and plunging 150 meters deep into the Earth's crust. The lake is confined within the slopes of crater walls and is sustained by groundwater channels and rainwater. With no known outlet for drainage, water level balance relies solely on evaporation. A remarkable aspect of this ecosystem is that any other groundwater source, however close to the lake, is normal fresh water. The special quality of lake's water is that it is both saline and alkaline in nature. In dry months when the water levels are low, the salinity of Lonar Lake may be much higher than that of the sea, and also the chemical composition of saline deposits is different from salts found in other places. The guide conducted a litmus test here, and the pH level of the water turned out to be 12, which is highly alkaline.
देखिए
कौन सा नंबर है?
12 नंबर आया है।
The next experiment was with turmeric. The compound in turmeric causes alkaline water to
और
turn
इस
bright
पानी में
red.
अपन हल्दी डालेंगे। देखिए अभी देखिए कैसा रेड हो चुका है। ये आपको दिख रहा है, देखिए पूरा रेड हो चुका है।
हाँ हाँ।
अब इसमें लेमन डालेंगे हम, देखिए ये वापस से न्यूट्रल हो गया। देखिए
येलो हो गया।
हाँ
A variety of microorganisms have adapted to this rare combination. The rich growth of blue-green algae in an inland salty lake with a pH level reaching 12 is an ecosystem of its own kind. Bird life thrives here, including many migratory species, and this algae is their staple diet.
ये जो पक्षी खाते हैं इसके अंदर, इसी के कारण से वो यहाँ आते हैं। ऐसे अलगे बोलते हैं। ये अलगे से पहले फॉरेन के कंपनियाँ टैबलेट बनाते थे, ए विटामिन बी विटामिन, शुगर के लिए भी टैबलेट तैयार होता था।
The Kamalja Devi temple, located right on the shore of the lake, is said to be one of the oldest in this area. Dedicated to the local village deity, Kamalja Devi temple continues to be a place of worship. This temple is particularly busy during the Navratri festival, attracting thousands of pilgrims. Walking along the shore of the lake while listening to the sounds of birds is a very pleasant experience. There are many more temples in ruins, some submerged in water. They add to the mystical vibration of this place. Perhaps the solitude and peace around this area were the reasons why so many temples were built here. This is the power of nature, how this part of the earth has come back to life after being completely destroyed by such a massive impact. The guide also pointed out some kind of berries which were used to weigh gold in earlier times. Interestingly, he mentioned all these berries bear similar weight.
जितना गुंज उतना ही सोना, गुंज सोना और गुंज बोलते उसे, सोने का माप करते थे पहले से।
It was time to turn back from here as due to high water level, proceeding further on the lake shore was not permitted. Climbing up on the path laden with boulders was tricky, and the afternoon sun made it a bit more difficult. It is possible to drive around the rim of the crater on a paved road. There are a few watchtowers that offer spectacular views of the lake. The crater lake looks absolutely stunning at the time of sunset. Located right in the heart of the town, the most fascinating architecture of Lonar is the Datyasudan temple. According to legend, a demon named Lonasur inhabited this area and used to torment the residents and meditating saints. Lord Vishnu himself incarnated to vanquish this demon and rid the residents of his atrocities. This is how Lonar took its name, and the temple was constructed to honor this event. Originally constructed by Chalukya dynasty that ruled between 6th and 12th century, the temple has been target of invaders multiple times. The arched brickwork on an ornately carved stone structure stands out like a mismatched patchwork, which was done at a later stage in an attempt to repair the damage. Another interesting feature is the arched entryway leading to the main prayer chamber. This kind of arched entryway is usually not seen in a Hindu temple. Made in iron ore, Lord Vishnu's idol stands in a dark room with demon Lonasur under his feet as a symbol of victory. The original idol was missing from its place when the temple was excavated. Intricate carvings fully cover the exterior walls, featuring various deities, scenes from Indian mythology, and some even depicting Kama Sutra. It is rare to find a Hindu temple with a flat roof like this one. Some speculate it may not have been completed due to reasons unknown. Although small, Datyasudan temple is very beautiful. It is also a place of peace and quiet. This was the end of my one-day trip to Lonar, but it feels like a job unfinished. I would definitely want to go back for a longer time. Probably this land holds many more stories to be uncovered. In case you missed it, do check out my previous adventure, hiking to an acid crater lake. You will find the link pinned on top here and in the description box below.